I'm a family man. I enjoy spending time with my kids. I take my son to karate 4 nights a week, sometimes 5. My wife and I spend a lot of time together. We're sci-fi fanatics. I was diagnosed at 17 of having polycystic kidney disease. I had elevated blood pressure, so they sent me in for a CAT scan. I saw cysts on my kidney, so I knew at that point, once I was diagnosed with it, that at some point I was going to be on dialysis or have to get a kidney transplant. I was really able to prepare mentally for it over the years. So when the doctor came with the diagnosis, called me up the one day and said, by the way, we just got your lab results back. You're gonna need to go on dialysis soon. I was like, okay, let's go, let's get it done. When you do it at home, you tend to get a little lazy sometimes. You don't always do it as often as you're supposed to do it. At least I didn't. When you do it at home with home hemo, it's 6 nights a week. I was doing it about 4. I was talking to the doctor about it, and she said I was a great candidate for Nocturnal, which I'm a huge fan of Nocturnal because it's so much healthier than typical dialysis because it's slower, it's easier on the body. I started doing Nocturnal about 6 months ago, and it's fantastic. I come in here at 8:30 at night, they hook me up, I watch a couple hours of TV, I lay the chair back, and I go to sleep. And then the next thing I know, they're waking me up. Hey, Mr. Coit, you're done. Woohoo, let's go. I feel a lot better on the Nocturnal. It's a world of difference compared to the day. When I used to do it during the daytime for the 3.5-hour session, I would do it, and pretty much every time I came off, I felt like a Mack truck had hit me. With the Nocturnal, because it's so much slower and it's easier on the body, when I get done, I'm able to go out and work and do all my walking. But the nice thing about Nocturnal is because you're getting so much more dialysis, you are getting more, that you don't have nearly the restrictions on your diet. You still have to take your phosphate binders. You still have to watch to a certain point what you want to eat. Oh, they're great. Fernando is the head nurse. He does a phenomenal job. You have the same nurse generally 99% of the time on the evening shift. It's always the same people. By having the same people here all the time, they know everything that you need. They know all your little intricacies, you know, when you're in a bad mood, when you're in a good mood, how to, you know, talk to you, when to leave you alone. You know, the dietitian, the social worker, they come by once a month, they check on you, see how you're doing. They sit down and talk with you. You're right at your chair while you're on dialysis. They're really concerned about your quality of life and how you're doing, you know, because that's the main thing. They want to have success stories. That's really important to them. Right before I went on dialysis, with 8 blood pressure medications, mind you, I was on 8 medications, my blood pressure was still 230 over 160. It was insane. My blood pressure, usually when I get off dialysis, is below 120. When I go on to dialysis, it's usually like 135, 140, because of the extra weight gain you've had over the last few days. But once they take it off, your blood pressure's way down. Sometimes it's like 105. I mean, it's just phenomenal. You don't get the headaches, you don't get the pounding in your head that you would get when you had really, really high blood pressure. That doesn't happen anymore. I used to get gout all the time. I don't get gout anymore, almost ever, because they're getting rid of all the toxins in the body, and gout can be caused by the excess uric acid buildup. Well, you don't really get that when you're on controlled dialysis. It's just a matter of making the choice. I'm not gonna let this destroy me. I'm not gonna let this, you know, change my life too much, and just making that conscious choice. So when we had kid functions, if I had dialysis during a kid function, I rescheduled the dialysis. I would do it the next day so I could be with my kids. We were not gonna let this get in the way.